Android users, you can now have TYT in the palm of your hand. Our TYT app is available for download in the Google Play Store. Just go to tyt.com/app to find out more.
The Pennsylvania Catholic Church just had a grand jury report released about its 6 of its dioceses. It's a 1,300-page report about 300 priests who coordinated efforts to basically cover up. It was much like Spotlight, the movie, cover up the nefarious deeds that they did, sexual molestation. It's ridiculous. One particularly egregious and almost satirically ridiculous story emerged. Charges against Father Edward George Ganster. On one occasion, he dragged a boy across the living room floor, pulling him by the underwear. Ganster also beat the victim repeatedly, once using a metal cross, according to the report. The abuse at the hands of Ganster lasted for over 1.5 years and happened in St. Joseph's Rectory. That was reported in 2002, 23 years after it happened, or 2005, and then again in 2004. That went unreported to the diocese and to the the authorities. There was a second victim in 2005, a third victim in 2015.
Jeez.
And then he put in for a recommendation after he quit on his own accord, not because of all of these allegations and activities, but he put in, he wanted to be laicized and turned into a non-priest after that. And he asked for a recommendation for a job. Where? At Walt Disney World, the happiest place on earth to be around kids.
And did they give him that recommendation?
And they gave him the recommendation. According to the report, they said that they would be, the priest said, yes, we would give you a positive report. He got the job. He worked there for 18 years.
Oh my God. How could anyone, after all of this horrific scandal, right? This pedophilia, this sexual assault, the rape of children, like how can anyone still support that church? Like that I don't understand. And look, it wasn't just the fact that there were so many priests who engaged in this, it was the fact that the church went to extremes to cover it up, to brush it under the rug. The fact that they wouldn't punish these priests, they would actually write them recommendations for other jobs where they would be surrounded by other children. It's crazy to me.
I mean, the list goes on and on. CNN did a really good job of actually just putting bullet points around this. One priest in Harrisburg abused 5 sisters from the same family. Another priest groomed middle school students for sex, according to the grand jury, by telling them that Mary had to bite the cord off and lick Jesus clean after the nativity.
Okay.
And there was another one who, forged a pastor's signature so he could marry laicize himself, marry a girl who was 17 that he got pregnant. And then according to the grand jury, the priest was allowed to stay in the ministry by finding what they said was a benevolent bishop. And that is not what the word benevolent means. It's so terrible. Now, the grand jury said that since the Pope Francis era, like these are older accusations and there have been some changes, but they did issue some suggestions as a result of this grand jury report, including eliminating the criminal statute of limitations for sexually abusing children, creating a 2-year civil window for child sex abuse victims who couldn't file lawsuits before. Now that this is all coming to light, clarifying the penalties for a continuing failure to report child abuse, and then prohibiting non-disclosure agreements regarding cooperation with law enforcement. But like you see this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible. These are religious people who believe that reproductive rights means murder, right? Mm-hmm. They consider themselves pro-life, but then remain complacent when children are being abused in their own churches. They're
supposed to be the moral guidance for people,
yeah,
and they act utterly immorally, amorally, and they take advantage of their position in ways that, they're telling other people they'll go to hell for things that are much lesser than what they're doing to kids.
Yeah, look, we have criticism for mainstream media. We talk about it often on the show. But there are good things that come out of investigative reporting in the mainstream, and the revealing story of what happened in the Catholic Church is one of those stories.
2 easy ways to follow the Young Turks. One is hit the subscribe button down below, then you're a TYT subscriber. And second is ring the bell. And when you do that on YouTube, you're notified of our videos.